webinar on PPP model, Pharma patent and Prosecution, and allergic effect to COVID-19. We all know what is the role of in patent in pharma and how we are proceeding in the field of pharmacy. So today's our webinar on PPP model, so that we link with our experts for the pharma and in pharmacy field patent model, and what is the role of patent scrutiny in the pharma profession for filing a patent. So we know all those things with our experts. And now I am introducing you Operant Pharmacy Federation to aims spread more about the pharmacy profession by organizing different exhibitions, conferences, workshops, seminars, and camps. We feel proud that OPF is one of the internationally recognized SL for biomedical and pharmaceutical study, with an high quality reviews, original research work, short communications, ethics forum, case reports, educational forum, and others. We aim to contribute our best effort in the field of pharmacy and biomedical. At Operant Pharmacy Federation, we are working hard to create a positive impact in the field of global health care. We are focusing on research works, wellness, community pharmacy, along with the arrangement of national and international conventions, promotions of causes related to pharmaceutical industry, and ethical business practices. The success of our pharmacy profession. We are extremely glad to help the researchers in their dissertations work, and we believe that all the researchers are contributing equally in the field of pharmacy and biomedical. Our editors help them their work and honor them to their efforts in the same field of pharmaceutical and biomedical. Or the research papers are also made available online, which help the students and other researchers to knowing more about the industry. Now we are Kual Pharma. So I am introducing you about Kual Pharma. Kual Pharma is the leading pharma consultancy which is playing a pivotal role in the world of pharmaceuticals. Kual Pharma is working with the sisters concern of pharma consultant and innovators, which was provided an excellent track record on research, formulation, and patented products since 2005. The company is established in the core value of quality, reliability, integrity. Or corporate office is at Ahmedabad, Jaipur, and New Delhi. We are well qualified, energetic, energetic, dynamic team of technocrats and experience in national and multinational pharma companies, and awarded by many patents. We have our clients to stay current with the changing regulatory environment, CGMP practices, brand image, new product development, product patent, visual aids, literature, and training in the field staff, preparing market strategies, dossiers for export, promotional support for the international market, etc. This helps us clients to raise their quality standards significantly, and thus making one-door solution company for preventing, resolving the compliances problems, and the develop efficient and effective strategies for the team working in the organization. We have also never compromised on the quality services provided to the customers. We believe in the keeping all the customers happy and providing them the product and very competent prices. Now I introduce our moderator, Ms. Anshu Yadav. Anshu Yadav is the editor-in-chief and founder and director of Kual Pharma, with over 10 years of experience in the industry. Ms. Anshu Yadav bringing an extensive track record of success in QA and regulatory field. During her tenure, she had strong domain expertise in the pharmaceutical auditing, training, and consultancy and operations. Now I request to Ms. Anshu Yadav to introduce our today's speakers and proceed our webinar.
Thank you, Vikram. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on this webinar. Patents. Patents play an important role in the development and pricing of pharmaceutical products. Patent law seeks to encourage innovation by granting the holder of a valid patent a temporary monopoly on an invention. The pharma patent system was created and is used to help companies to protect that investment and vehicle costs spent in discovering, developing, and marketing new drugs, and therefore encouraging future drug research and development and innovation. Pharma companies file for a patent soon after the discovery of a drug. From that point, the company has a 20-year patent for the product. Once the 20-year exclusive period is up, generic competitor can enter the market and compete with branded drug on price. So, to further protect their investment, companies often seek to extend their exclusive period of drug by filing secondary patents. That's all about patents in brief. To discuss it in broader sense, we have two very important guests with us, and Dr. Sanjay Agrawal. He will be joining us from Ahmedabad, and Dr. Paresh Dave. He will be joining us from New Delhi. Dr. Sanjay Agrawal is founder and director of Pharma Consultant and Inventor and assists pharmaceutical companies around the globe. He has actively worked in pharmaceutical and related industries for more than 28 years. Dr. Agrawal holds his post-graduation in biochemistry, completed MBBS in bio and MBA from IMT. Dr. Agrawal is illustrious member of National Geographic Society and member of Scientific Committee of IDMA. Dr. Agrawal is patent holder of many research formulations. Few of them are successfully commercialized as Namcold, Parcol, Namsafe, Respicure, Cramfort, and many more. I welcome you, Dr. Agrawal, on our program. Our second guest is Dr. Paresh Dave. Dr. Paresh Dave is founder and director of IP Moment and has an overall experience of 22 years, with 10 years in research and development, and has been active in the intellectual property field since 2006 in India as well as abroad. Dr. Dave holds a doctorate degree in chemistry from Central Salt and Marine Chemical Research Institute. He holds a postgraduate diploma in intellectual property rights from Nalsa University. Dr. Dave is expert of chemistry, pharmaceutical, biophysics, mechanical, food supplements products, cosmetics, and immunology. I welcome Dr. Dave on board as well. So, Dr. Agrawal, my first question is to you. Being an innovator, when someone files a patent, so the patent attorney says that a clinical data is required for the safety and efficacy of the product. To get the clinical data in India, we have to inform DCGI. But when we inform DCGI, there are chances that the data is leaked. So how this clinical data is managed?
Namaskar, and it's a really very good question which you have asked. As such, without clinical data, whatever we have formulated and we are going for filing a patent, getting a patent is a very difficult task. Now, time has come when the patent controller, until and unless you will not provide a clinical data and you will not able to explain them the effectivity profile of the combination, probably the patent will not be granted. And they require a full data. But unfortunately, in India, you cannot conduct any clinical trial, maybe in the nutraceutical or maybe drug, without taking the NOC, non-objection certificate, from the Drug Controller of India. And as soon as without protection, if I apply to DCGI for approval of my clinical trial, probably my formulation will be disclosed. It becomes domain. Once the formulation has become domain, and then without any protection, then anybody can make my formulation. Anybody can do the copy. So whatever I have done, and I have spent money and time, it will be wastage. So what we do, we have developed a very good software, and we call it a combination index. This is an in vitro study. This combination index, as such, this is being used for fixed dose combination, FDC. And what we do, we keep on putting the concentration of each ingredient in the table form, and ultimately this software will generate the readings. So normally, if the combination index is less than 1, it shows the given combination, the given FDC is a synergistic. And once it is a synergistic, it shows that the product, the given formulation is very effective. If the combination index is more than 1, that shows it is an antagonism. Whatever the ingredient you have taken in your formulation, they are interacting to each other. They are interfering with each other. And that is why the combination keep on going up more than 1. So if it is less than 1, it shows that a given formulation is very effective and very useful for whatever we get the data from the software. We plot the isolation. It is a graphical representation because the controllers, patent controllers, they do not have much time to see it. So if you are giving a graphical representation within a fraction of a second, they can easily understand that the given combination is a synergistic, not the antagonistic. We have tried and we have applied this technique, this combination index in our many patents, and successfully the patents has been granted. Otherwise, getting or arranging the clinical data, it is a very horrible. It's not so easy. The around a decade back that we were conducting, but now with a lot of changes in the patent law and the patent controllers, they are not able to give us a they are not granting our patent without the data. So this data is very important, and for this purpose we have developed this software, this combination index, and which is very useful for the society, very useful for the inventors, and very useful to the attorneys, and useful to the controller also.
Thank you, sir. I'm very sure that this is very useful, as you have said. Dr. Sir, I know many universities and innovators who apply directly without consulting with patent attorney or patent agent. So, what do you think? A patent agent is essential to to file the patent, or innovator can directly file the patent themselves?
Uh, uh, it's a really good. In fact, we have seen our practical life after spending 30 years. There are many institutes, academic institutes, many scientists also. They try to apply their patent directly to the patent controller. And we always emphasize that you really need a patent lawyer, because the language of the patent is really peculiar and really specific. Most of the recent patent application was just returned by the examiner because my claims were not specific and clear. That's how just choosy and fusy they are about the language. No matter how thoroughly you search, the patent examiner will come up with prior claims or prior art he thinks might invalidate your claims. Think this is a prior art may or may not have any relevance. It is a complete risky and uncertain. So you really need a patent lawyer. The patent lawyer charges fees that makes open heart surgery look affordable, not keyhole surgery, which can be complicated in patent application. Working on a patent really makes you think clearly and exactly what you are doing. You should be very clear about the invention. You need to be able to communicate your idea with a degree of accuracy you may not be familiar to, both to lawyer and examiner. You cannot make exemption. As an inventor, you should explain to your lawyer very clearly, transparently, and very specific about your invention. If you cannot describe your invention with that level of clarity and care, then it will be difficult to get awarded your patent to you. Think global and write local. Describe your invention at length, but make your claims general enough that your patent cannot be worked around just by changing the implementation detail. During claims, they should be general, not very specific, and choosy specifically. When you are mentioning the concentration of each ingredient, it should cover large range, not be specific. So in future, the chances of infringement will be very less. These are the very important. We have seen in many cases what happens when we make the claims, and we very specified our concentration, and with a small variation. I'll give you the very small example. Like I have a patent of paracetamol 500 milligram. While I'm making my claims, and if I write only 500 milligram, tomorrow somebody will come with a patent and is stating that 5 paracetamol 325 milligram, and he will prove before the patent controller, sir, that 325 milligram paracetamol is as effective as 500 milligram. So he will also get the patent. In that case, your patent will nowhere in the industry. So we always have a very big range and wide range. So as such, if you want to file a patent of paracetamol 500 milligram, you should have a start with 250 milligram to 1000 milligram, such a wide range. So with the subtherapeutic dose of the ingredient, the chances of infringement will be very less. So our idea is very simple. The claim should be very in the white, and the inventor should be very clear about his invention. He should able to describe to his patent attorney, so he can file the patent application very clear and very transparently. Because the patent attorney, he knows the law, but he is not a scientist. It is your baby. You have to describe the complete horoscope of your baby, the date of birth, time of birth, place of birth. Then the horoscope expert will tell you the fate of your boy. Similarly in patent, until and unless you are not very clear, until unless you will not communicate to your attorney, probably he will not draft your application in the better manner. Number two, unfortunately, if you are going to appear for the hearing with your patent attorney, and if you have an opportunity to talk to your controller, if you are very clear about the invention, probably you can also describe your patent, the entire concept of the patent to the patent controller. It has been seen many times in our life that you have given everything to your attorney, everything is in the file, but being it is a science which require evidence, and sometime in the last moment, if the evidence will come in your hand, you can, with a special request, you can present to your controller. Like combination index is a recent research, which has come in only in 2018. We have developed this software 2018. If my application has been traveled from 2016 or 15, if I receive the first examination report, probably my attorney has not replied properly because data was not available. But if we have arranged your data, because now software has come, so you can give this data during your final hearing with the presence of your attorney. Probably it can substantiate as a evidence. You can prove, yes, that my product or my invention is a highly efficacious. So my request is always there, we should not directly apply. We should have an attorney because he is a master. He has all legal loop and poles about the drafting, and drafting is very important. Even the criminal cases and civil cases also, the case is very strong, but his presentation is poor, probably you will lose your case. Similarly in patent also, your invention is good, but unfortunately if your presentation is very poor, then you will not get the awarded. So I request always there, we always have a attorney. We should always have a patent attorney who can represent our case very strongly in present of my patent controller, even though he knows certain other part, legal aspect. So basically it is a mixture of a technique, it is a mixture of legal. It's like we say today marketing is a medical and marketing, today's marketing, pharmaceutical marketing. Similarly in patent also, it is a combination of evidences and combination of legal justification. If your evidences are poor or if your presentation is poor, probably it will be difficult to getting the approval from your patent controller. So I strongly recommend that even the institutes or even the individual patent in the inventors, they should always take a patent attorney with them. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay. We will come back to you. Dr. Paresh, I wanted to ask that we all know that in India, the pharma patent prosecution is very slow. So how we can speed up the pharma patent prosecution in India?
So, first of all, I would like to start thanking, Vikram and Operant Pharmacy Federation for organizing such a nice online seminar. And I also like to thank, Dr. Sanjay and Anshu. Aapko bhi dhanyawad. So I would like to start, to take up, where Dr. Sanjay has left, last point, claim of the patent, So what we call in technical language, that claim is a heart of your patent application. So if your heart is powerful and strong, then your patent application is very strong. And I can compare, let's say in the layman term, if I have to explain you, I would say that you have your plot or you have your house, So what you do, you prepare, you make first boundary around your house or your land, wherever it is. And when you put boundary around it, then it will demarcation, that these lands belongs to you. So if you compare, same way for your patent application, whatever you are going to claim, so that is area under that claim language, that is your IP right is there. So your patent right is binding by that, whatever you are claiming. So claim part is one of the important. So it should not be very narrow, or it should not be very broad. Let's say if you is very broad, and like you can understand that if your house boundary is very broad, then it might be infringing, legal case with your neighboring neighbors, So you have to be careful, where your land is belongs, and according to you have to build your boundary. So for claim also is the same manner. Now we come back to that pharmaceutical aspect, that pharmaceutical domain. So if I start, pharmaceutical domain, if claims are generally, different types of claims are there. First type of is product claims are there. So product claims are there, and in that sub categorized are there new chemical entities. So if any new NCE is there, new compound is there, that you can claim new chemical entities. Second type of claims are there formulations or compositions. So if you have make your formulations or compositions, that you can claim. Next is combination of dosage or dose. So that is also claimable subject matter. So you can claim that. Then its kits are there. So you have made kits, which has the different composition and different things. And then is product by process claim. And another is new forms of known substances, like salts are there, ethers, esters, polymorphs, and other, if you have made any different kind of new forms of already known substances, that also can be a patentable subject matter. So these all are product claims. Then there is also possibility of, process or method of manufacturing. So whatever process or method of manufacturing of your NCE is there, that also you can claim, and you can file a patent application for that. Then there is a new property or new use of known substances. So if you find, any new property or new use, that is also claimable patent application. Then there is also possibility, sometime, method of treatment or diagnosis of human beings and animals also is patentable. But these are the very broad thing. But when we file a patent and when we draft, any applicant draft or inventor draft a patent application, he or she has to know, what to put as a method of treatment or not. But in general, I would say that these are the claimable subject matters for pharmaceutical. Now the question is that how we can speed up. So speeding up is possible, one has to know about the different aspects. So first aspect one should know, there is a provision of provisional patent application. So what is provisional patent application? So provisional patent applications is like, synopsis of your work. So if you are the PhD student and you are researcher, you can correlate with this one. That before you filing your means before you submit your final thesis, you have to submit your synopsis to the university. So synopsis will be the giving, broad, or it will give the kind of summarization of your research. So provisional patent application is similar way, that when immediately you get some results or instantly you have to claim your priority date. So instantly you go ahead and file a provisional patent application, because that gives you priority date protection. So your patent application can be protect, from the date of filing of a provisional patent application. And apart from that, provisional patent application is also, you should not have the you should not require to have the complete data and experimental details, etc. You can just broadly, explain that whatever you are planning to do research, and those things you can file as a provisional patent application. So that will give you, uh, priority date protection also. And then later on, you will get 1 year time to file a complete specification. Within 1 year, you have to file, complete data and experimental details of your patent application. And as Dr. Sanjay has also mentioned, there is a new software or new tool they have found, where you have to give, data about the combinatorial analysis, how your compound will be useful for the pharmaceutical, means from the diagnosis aspect also, from therapeutic aspect also. So one thing is that provisional patent application you should know, and you should try to file a first provisional patent application. Second is prior art search. So every inventor or applicant, they have to know about the prior art search. And before prior art search, they should know that what are the patentable criteria are there, and whether your invention is patentable or not. So you have to read about that, and you have to collect information about that. And then you have to thoroughly perform your prior art search. Like based on, there are the four aspects are there. Your invention should be novel, so it should not be published anywhere before filing your patent application. Then it must be useful. Then it should be a non-obvious. So non-obvious means it should be not obvious to the person having skill in the art, and it should meet the statutory requirements. So what is patentable and what subject is not patentable, that you should know. And then you have to perform your prior art search, and then inventor or applicant has to see, whether their invention is good to file a patent application or not. So these two aspects are important to go ahead in patent prosecution. So what is patent prosecution? So patent prosecution is that once an applicant file a patent application, then patent office is there. In patent office, there are experts are sitting there, and experts are there in the particular domain. Let's say you are filing in pharmaceutical, so there will be a pharmaceutical or chemistry experts in the patent office. That controller will examine your patent application according to the patent law, and according to patent law, if your patent is grantable, then the controller will give you grant. So the patent prosecution is what? That once you file a patent application until you get the grant of your patent, so that period is called patent prosecution. So during that time, applicant has to correspond couple of times, many times with the controller, back and forth, and then they have to clarify whatever objections controller might raise. So those objections, applicant has to reply for them, and then controller will consider, and if there are more queries, then they will come back to the applicant again. So this whole process is called patent prosecution. So as I said that one should know about the patent laws in the detail, then you should know first file a provisional patent application, then you should also do prior art search. Then after filing a provisional patent application, you will have 1 year time to file a complete patent application. That means that within 1 year, you have to collect your data as much as possible. So like in case of pharmaceutical domain, patent application, you can start, animal study, reliable study, and any other experiments, characteristics, characterization of your compound, etc. So those experiments you have to complete within 1 year, and then you have to file a patent application. So these are the main steps are there. So once you file a complete specification, then what happens that patent office will publish your patent application. So if you file a patent application, then there is a time period of 18 months. That after 18 months, the patent office will publish your patent application. But you must be knowing that there is a provision in patent law that you can expedite, you know, you can make a request for early publication, and then your invention will get published immediately. So there is a provision to file a request for publication. That will also speed up your prosecution, patent prosecution process also. So if you file a request for early publication, then your patent application will get published within 2-3 weeks. So once you will get publish, your patent application, then you have started your right also legally. So one must file, request for early publication. And then there is also provision for request for expedited examination. So what happened in patent prosecution steps, once you file a request for early publication, then you have to file request for examination. So if you don't file request for expedited examination, then your patent application will roll through normal process. So in normal process, what I mean that if you don't file request for expedited examination, then your patent application will get examined after 2, 3, or 4 years. Depending upon the pendency in the patent office, your turn will come, and according to that, patent office will take care and they will start examination. But there is also provision of doing uh, examination expedited way. So what are the criteria are there? Who is eligible for filing a request for expedited examinations? So in 2019, there these criteria patent office has modified, and patent laws are all according to that modified. And now there are 6-7 categories are there who are eligible to file a request for expedited examination. So once you file a request for examination, your examination report will come within 3 to 4 months. So now who are the eligible for this filing a request for examination? First is that if you file an international patent applications, PCT application we call, and if you file a PCT application and you choose, Indian Patent Office as one of the international searching authority, we called as ISA, then your patent application in India can have right to get expedited examinations. So I'm not going into detail about that international searching authority and PCT application now, but you must know that there is provision. You file a PCT application and then you choose Indian Patent Office as an international search authority, you will get right to file a expedited examination. Secondly, startups. Under the rule 2FB of the Patent Act 1970, startups also can request to for expedited examinations. There is one more category, small entities are there. So small entities applicant also can file a request for expedited examination under rule 2FA. And recently in 2019, one more addition was that if there is any female applicant is there, and if female applicant is there as a natural person in patent application, then she can file a request for expedited examination. So the Indian government, they empower the women's scientists, to encourage them. They have made this provision, if any female applicant is there, she can file a request for expedited examination. In this case also your patent application get examination within 3 to 4 months. And there are two more categories are there. If any government universities or government research organizations are there, or any projects are there where government monies are involved, they can also file request for patent expedited examinations. So these are the steps one should know after filing a patent application or before filing a patent application. So if you do go according to this process I mentioned, in that case your patent application may grant if everything your invention is very novel and it meets criteria of the patentability according to the patent office, then you will get patent granted within 1 years or 14 months. Otherwise it will take 5 to 6 months. So these are the main steps. Prior provisional patent, you file, you perform prior art search, you request for early publication, and then you request for expedited examinations. And once your controller sends, any objection, etc., then you should respond, as early as possible. Let's say controller is giving, first examination report, and you will have 6 months time period to reply to that one. But instead of 6 months, you can file reply within 1 month or as early as possible once you are ready to file a response to that one. So by going through different steps during the patent prosecution, you can get your patent application granted within 1 year. So these are the process, Anshu, uh, just to speed up your patent application in pharmaceutical domain, particularly, and in any domain also. In according to Indian Patent Act, I have mentioned. There is also provision in different countries also, but we are not discussing right now here. But there are many other provisions like in USA, in Japan. There are the PPH is there, patent prosecution highway system is also there. So many possible, but that's why, as Dr. Sanjay said, that applicant when they wanted to file a patent application, they must consult with the patent attorney, so who can guide them how to write how to draft patent application and how to speed up the whole process itself.
Thank you,
So
sir.
I
The information
hope
very
it
much.
answers.
The information is very much useful for our viewers. Sir, in pharma patent prosecution, what are the hurdles of Section 3D of Indian Patent Act 1970?
Yes. So in India, this is one of the most important or most discussed or debatable section all around the world. Section 3D is there because that concerns with a pharmaceutical domain particularly mainly. So I would like to say Section 3D is not new. It is there since the Patent Acts in 1970. It drafted and it implemented. So this section 3D was that. So what is normal, what section 3 of the Patent Act says, what are the inventions are not patentable. So it lists down, inventions which are not patentable, and under that, there is subsection section 3D. So in that also mention, what type of inventions are not patentable. So I will give, exact, recitation of the section very soon. But before that, I would like to, go through some history of this one. So as I said, section 3D is there in the Indian Patent Act from 1970, which says, inventions are not patentable. Because what happened that when this section was made, during that time, there was absence of product patent in pharmaceutical domain in India. So during that time, Indian Patent Act was not discussing about any product patent application. Means that time India was not giving product patent to any inventions. So particularly it was affected to the pharmaceutical companies, because they could not get grant for their product. So it was discouraged, and because of that, they could not, come up with new inventions or new chemical entities during that time. So because there are many reasons, because India wanted to provide, low cost treatment and drugs to the Indian community, so they made this role. But in 90s, there is World Trade Organization came, and then there is also TRIPS agreement came. So according to that, if you are the signee of this WTO and TRIPS agreement, one must follow, some rules and regulations according to international treaties. What happened in 1995? India has to sign, these treaties. So India became member of World Trade Organization, and India also signed the TRIPS agreement in 95. So in what happened in 95, under the TRIPS agreement, there is a section over there that product patent must be allowed for pharmaceutical under the patent law. So Indian Patent Act was amended, and in 2005, Section 3D, was amended, and then there was new term was introduced called therapeutic efficacy. So this is the main history that 2005 onwards, India started giving product patent in pharmaceuticals. So what this Section 3D, recites, I can recite, exactly, what the terminology, the mere discovery of a new form of a known substance. So note down, these kind of things, new form of known substance, which does not result in the enhancement of the known efficacy of that substance. That means that any new form of known substance is there which does not result in the enhancement of the known efficacy, then it's not patentable. Second one is that mere discovery of any new property or new use for a known substance, means any known substance is there and new use or new property is filing, then in that case, patent office may not give the grant of your patent application. And there is one more provision is that mere use of a known process, machine or apparatus, unless such known process results in new product or employs at least one new reactant. That means that any new process or machines or apparatus are there which is coming out from known process, and it gives, it does not give any new product, or it does not, means it is not using any new reactant. Let's say you are using, A and B reactant, you are making product C, but you have changed, some experimental process in this one, but still you are using A, B, and you are making C. In that case, patent office may not give grant to your patent. So these are the section, section 3D is very crucial, because one has to prove, applicant or inventor has to prove, enhancement of known efficacy. Means that whatever you are claiming your new form or new way of making your known substance, in that case, that whatever you are claiming, it should have, very high much, enhancement in efficacy. So efficacy word is there, and efficacy word is debated, many times, that what is efficacy. But under the Patent Act, Indian Patent Act is not clarified, what is efficacy. And here I would like to quote, some of the popular cases. Many of you must be knowing, if you are from the pharmaceutical background, you must be knowing, Glivec case was there, Novartis case. So in this Novartis case, in 2013, the High Court, rejected patent application on the grounds of Section 3D. Roche versus Cipla case is also very famous, irrotinium hydrochloride. So Justice Manmohan Singh gave judgment in favor of Cipla, stating that Cipla did not infringe Roche's patent because this case was related to generic drug. So in generic drug also, Cipla won the case, and the Justice Jagmohan said that this patent, cannot means Cipla's product is not infringing Roche's patent application, granted patent. Sorry. There is also one more case, Abrasics Biosciences drug Abraxane. So this is injectable formulation of protein-bound particles. So in this case also, the court denied, giving, grant to this patent application because they said that there is no proving any therapeutic efficacy. So therapeutic efficacy was not proven. So court did not give grant to this patent application. So these are the main hurdles, in the pharmaceutical patent applications under Section 3D. Because many countries, they are trying to, say that India should remove, Section 3D. But Indian Section 3D is very good, and there is term, therapeutic efficacy is there. But one should know, how to overcome this therapeutic efficacy by filing, by reporting to the submissions and by giving clinical data to that patent office. Normally what happens that patent application is filed at very early age, as Dr. Sanjay said, that clinical data were not, means most of the time is not available when any pharmacy company or any applicant or inventor is thinking about to file a patent application. So at the early stage they do not have clinical data to support therapeutic efficacy. So therapeutic efficacy, they can submit later on, during the prosecution, during the reply of the FER, they can file, submissions, and they can provide, data to support that therapeutic efficacy is very much higher than whatever is already reported of the known compositions or known substances. So clinical data, some results, for supporting pharmaceutical company can submit later on also. So there is word, generic substances are there. So generic substances, in 2001 European Council, they have given very clear indication that whatever the substances are called generic substances. They said that if generic substances must also contain the same therapeutic moiety as the innovative substance. That means that therapeutic moiety must be same. So applicant or pharmacy company, whoever is filing patent application, they should know, whether their, filed, substance has a same therapeutic moiety or they have some different therapeutic moiety. Even if there is a slight change in therapeutic moiety is there, then it will be considered as a new active substance. In that case, it cannot be compared with as a known substance if patent office, during prosecution is comparing. So these are the things, applicant or pharmacy company must be knowing. And many times, they are giving value of enhancement of efficacy as a percentage. So this percentage value, they can convert as a benefit of the patents or some other things, So it's not required that always, applicant debate or argue with the patent controller based on the percentage of that enhancement of therapeutic efficacy. They should also think about debating about benefits to the patients, because there might be benefits to the patients and there might be the quantity reductions or any other things, So these are the points, one can consider, while replying to the patent office. But Section 3D is main hurdle for pharmaceutical companies or pharmaceutical inventors who are working in the pharmacy domain. So one can overcome by filing, enhancement of therapeutic efficacy data, and then they can also think, whether therapeutic moiety has little bit change or some minor changes are also there. and they can also try to support the documents by saying benefits to the patients. So these are the main aspects one should consider while patent prosecutions to reply for Section 3D.
Thank you, sir. Please explain about PCT application and how one can protect patent internationally.
Okay, so just briefly, I would say that PCT application is there. That is one provision is there, as I said, that there is a patent cooperation treaty India has signed. So under that patent cooperation treaty, whoever the signee means whoever all these countries are signee of this agreement, they have to obey the certain international laws and regulations. So under this, there is a provision of PCT application. So PCT application is nothing more than this is kind of drop box is there. So this is mail box is there. So where you file, you take your patent application, you put under the PCT application, and then what happened that same patent application, the PCT application, this governing body of PCT application, WIPO, they take your patent application, they transfer your patent application to the different countries. So what happened that once let's say you are filing patent application today, then let's say you are filing patent application in India only, Indian patent application in India. So I would go one step back again, because one should know, patent right is a territorial right. So if you file a patent application in India, your right is secure or protected only in India. So if you want to protect your right in different countries, you have to file a patent application in different countries. So let's say you are filing patent application in India today, and if you want to protect your patent in USA, Europe, Australia, so all these places you have to file a patent application within 12 months. Remember, within 12 months you have to file a patent application. But instead of that, if you go through this mailbox PCT application, then you file a PCT application, then you will get 31 months. So that time period of 12 months will get enhanced up to 31 months. Then you have time period to think about to go into different countries of 31 months. So let's say you file PCT application today, then you will get 31 months to think and go and file patent application in USA, Europe, America, sorry, in North America, anywhere, in South America, because there are 160, 170 countries are there who are the signee of this PCT application. So within 31 months, you can file patent application, same patent application in any of the countries. So PCT application is there that internationally all these countries agree for this one, that anyone can file once patent application. Then WIPO is a governing body. They will transfer your patent application to the different countries within 31 months. But you have to pay fees, etc. There are more rules and regulations are there. But in a short, in a layman term, I would say this is provision is there. Once you file a PCT application, you will get 31 months time period to file a patent application in any of the countries who are the signee of this PCT. Paris Convention, Patent Cooperation Treaty.
Thank you, sir. And Dr. Sanjay, this question to you is out of curiosity. As coronavirus pandemic is going on, so we would also like to know that what precaution we should take after this lockdown. This will help us to take all precautions.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Once again, Namaskar. It's the most important prevention. Namaskar. We should not do the handshake, but there are certain more preventions are required as compared to during the lockdown. After the lockdown, probably the more chances of infection will be there initially. So at least we should remain very positive. So because positivity is always related to our body immunity, I always advise that we should not watch TV. We should not go for the WhatsApp messages. There is always a fatality rate. is around 1.2% in India. When you see sometime they are showing 6% fatality. As soon as you see 6% fatality, your body immunity will be decreased, because your thinking pattern will change. The number two, there is no international visit. At least 2 years. You should not plan at all for international visit. And at least for national visit also, you should not plan for a year. You should not leave your hometown. You should not leave your near city where you are staying. And you should not go at least for eating out for a year. Maintain the complete hygienic. We do not know, we are going to hotel, the server, waiter, whether it is hygienic or not, or when the kitchen where they are preparing the food, where they have, if there is a contamination is there, and probably you can also suffer. And most important, you should avoid the marriages, social programs, no crowdy place. If the crowdy place will be there, probably the contagious will be more. And the social distancing, at least we should maintain 1 meter, as it is a minimum. It is always good you can have more than 1 meter, because this coronavirus, the virus has a 500 micron is in size, who cannot travel more than 1 meter, and he requires a area where he has to retain. So at least it is maintained. And mask is very important. Mask while you are going to school, college, and office. And most important, mask, at least it should have a 3 layers, because the size of the virus is a 500 micron. So probably after 3 layers, it will not transit, and it will not come to your respiratory tract. It will be protected, or it will be avoided with my mask. And complete vegetarian. Your lifestyle should be absolutely vegetarian, like you should not take alcohol, no cigarettes, and you try to maintain your body immunity. You must have seen those countries where non-vegetarian, non-veg is more common. I think the rate is very high as compared to India. We are very fortunate. Number one, the type of the virus is very poor. Number two, our approach is more vegetarian as compared to non-vegetarian, and that is why we are more protected over the other countries. And we should not go for cinema, malls, at least for 5 to 6 months. Body immunity enhancer, we should take regularly, especially a citrus fruit. We should take tomato. It's not very expensive. We should take in our salad. We should take vegetables, those have more citrus fruit. Then we take kiwi. Kiwi is a very popular fruit which is available in India. Lemon is very good. Lemon, at least we should have 5 to 6 lemon every day. And calcium tablet and zinc. It is a proven that vitamin C and zinc is the best body immunity enhancer. We take while we go to the beauty parlors or saloon. We should always go with a mask. If the other person is not having a mask, ask him to. He should also have a mask. Painkiller is absolutely avoided. The painkillers. As soon as you take the painkillers, it will deteriorate your body immunity, because the receptors where my virus is going to attack, the same receptors are the painkiller receptors. The common receptors are there. If these receptors are already blocked by my painkiller, probably your body immunity will further decline. And the person who has already positive, we should maintain the distance, or he should be little away from the society. The person who is coughing or sneezing, we should take the precaution. We always use sanitizer in our pocket, and the best sanitizer which has a 62% alcohol. Try when use this sanitizer. Please rub carefully, and it should not drop on your any cloth. Otherwise, if you are very close to the heat, there is the chances of flame. So the protection is required. Always drink hot water. Wear the face sheet and mask. No spitting on the road. No spitting. That is very important. And casual sneezing. Some people, they do the casual sneezing. If it is a very dangerous, because this virus travels in the form of drops. So while you sneeze, a drop in the form of drop, this virus will travel to another person, and probably he can get the infection. Frequently hand wash. After 2 hours, you should wash your hands very carefully. If sanitizer is not there, no use it. You use only any soap. There is no need to use Lifebuoy because it contains antibacterial, but it is not a bacteria, it is a virus. So you take any soap, any detergent, or the plain water is also enough. But you should wash and you should clean because your hands are always being exposed in the air, and that is why cleaning is there. And at least no handshaking, no kissing, no hugging, even to your kith and kins, and no outside food, especially tea and street foods are completely avoided, and probably discuss less, talk less until and unless subject is not there. As much as you will talk, your body immunity will decline. So these are the precautions which we should take because the chances are more after the lockdown because we remain the crowd and the infection will be there is a possibility. So I request to everybody always try to put namaskar. If you remember the namaskar, probably these things will come your mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sanjay. I think there is some technical. He is there. Thank you, Dr. Sanjay and Dr. Paresh Dave. You have enlightened us on very important topic of patent. So that's all from my side. Now over to Vikram.
Now we are proceeding for question answer session. Audience can ask the questions from our speakers. From our side, all the audience are unmuted. They can ask question by audio system and they also drop their question in question box. The first question arises from Dr. Alok Kumar Soni. It is from Dr. Paresh Dave. What is the preclinical data can be patented?
Can you repeat what is it? What data?
Preclinical data can be patented.
Data cannot be patented, But as I said, there is any new chemical entity is there, method of manufacturing of compound is there, or new use is there, or anything like that is that can be patented.
Yeah, thank you, sir. One more
If I
question
understand
arises
correctly.
Satish Kumar.
But
The minor changes into the formulation count will make significant uniqueness to claim a new invention.
yes. If it is there, then it is possible,
Yeah, and sir, one more question is if we are filing a US patent, can we hire an Indian attorney for filing a patent?
For filing a patent, one can hire because many Indian, patent attorney has the expertise, but technically, they are not allowed to practice in USA. So, like Indian patent agent is there, who is, officially is allowed to prosecute and to process with the Indian patent office only. So one cannot, means let's say that Indian patent attorney, they cannot go to the US patent office and argue on behalf of applicant. So no, he cannot do, but he can help, if you because many patent attorneys in India, they are well aware about the US patent law, so they can help you, they can assist you, but they cannot, go on behalf of you at the patent office and prosecute your patent application.
Sir, can you explain about PPH process?
Is a PPH is there, is a patent prosecution highway system is there. So these PPH system is there. It's kind of unilateral or bilateral or multilateral. Countries have signed according to that. Let's say Japan and USA have signed. So if any applicant is going through this patent prosecution highway, then patent will start prosecutions very quickly. So depending upon the some criteria, what type of inventions are there and who is filing patent application, etc. So recently last year, in India also we have signed an agreement with Japan. So India and Japan have started, PPH on trial basis. So in 2019 we started. So only 100 patent applications can go through this PPH system. So what happened that this PPH system is that, let's say you are filing a patent application in India and Japan. So in normal scenario, what happened that Japan patent office will also examine your patent application, and they will also give the examination report, objection, etc. And India also will do, for the Indian patent application. But if same patent application is there, then it will be only examined by one of the patent office. It won't be examined by both patent office. So in India and Japan, we have signed an agreement that in a year only 100 patent applications, whoever come first, first 100 applications are there, and who request for the PPH. So those 100 patent applications will get benefit of this PPH. So it will get only examined either by India Patent Office or by Japan Patent Office. But when it will get, grant or anything, then it will be granted, prosecuted in both countries simultaneously. So it will save time for the applicant to reply and to communicate with individual patent office.
So next question from Dr. Sanjay Agrawal. Sir, can you explain herd immunity on the COVID-19 immunity related to COVID-19? What is the impact of herd immunity?
Yeah, because the ultimately this immunity which we are going to acquire. So definitely, when the virus has entered or the it is on the environment, definitely it will affect on our body immunity. Probably we will going to lose our body immunity, and that is why we have to keep on taking these external things like citrus fruits and all to enhance our the active immunity. So that is with this that we are able to fight with the coronavirus or any infection. So it's a very common by taking the external. This is external material.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Anyone more available for question answer? They can ask. They can drop their question in question box. Audience can ask their questions. So one question for Dr. Sanjay. Mostly all the antiviral drugs are severe adverse reaction and side effects. Why we didn't try homeopathic and Siddha?
As such, there is a difference between the allopathic and other system. In allopathic, we have a absolute mechanism and action, like antiviral. Now, how it works? Like we have a the anti-malaria drug, which is very common, hydroxychloroquine. We know the action mechanism in which receptor it will work. Or when we talk about the azithromycin, we know it will work on H influenza, and ultimately it will subside the throat and all. But in homeopathic, there is no clinical evidences, and as such, the medicines are full of clinical evidences. Until unless we do not have a clinical evidences or references or clinical studies, we will treat like a placebo. So they may be effective. I never say that homeopathic medicines are not effective or herbal medicines are not effective. They are effective, but there must be a thorough clinical studies. So we can prove in front of clinicians, in front of the society. Yes, this is a combination like hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, omega-3 fatty acid combination is very effective. Maybe in the prevention or maybe in the treatment. But when we talk about such drugs and homeopathic, it is the clinical evidences, lack of the clinical evidences. That is why authentically we cannot say. Authentically we cannot say these drugs are effective. But as a mouth to mouth, people have used, and if they are happy, and in the coronavirus probably is such a complication where my respiratory system is involved, and where we should not take any chance until and unless the drug has not been proven, because immediately the patient who is in a primary stage, an acute stage, he can lead to the severe stage. So that is why we are not in favor of much about the except the allopathy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining with us and your sharing your views on PPP model. Thank you so much, sir, Dr. Prince Dave and Dr. Sanjay Agrawal.
Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.